Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
To see Donald Trump, who thinks he can just with the stroke of a pen whitewash all of this, it's so disrespectful of not just the victims, first and foremost the victims, but all of the FBI agents and investigators who investigated these crimes, all of the prosecutors and the staff at the U.S. Attorney's Office that was involved in 1,500 prosecutions, the grand juries, which, Nicole, I don't think we have paid enough attention to the grand juries that sat behind closed doors confidentially and heard all of the evidence for all 1,500 plus of the defendants who ultimately went to court, many of them, if not most of them, pleading guilty. Do you know we run about 5 to 7 grand juries at a time in the courts of Washington, D.C. That's both local superior court and federal court. But because of our unusual jurisdiction, those grand juries cross-pollinate. So the local grand juries can indict federal cases and the federal grand juries can indict local cases. And do you know, if a grand jury indicts 8 or 10 or 12 or 20 cases, that is 16 to 23 individuals, citizens from the District of Columbia, who sit there for months and months hearing all of the evidence in those 10, 15, 20 cases. Multiply that by 1,500 cases. You know, the District of Columbia population is only about 680,000. How many tens of thousands of grand jurors sat in those closed door grand jury sessions from 9:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, watching all of the evidence and hearing from all of the witnesses and the victims of what these defendants did at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. And those thousands and thousands of people must be asking themselves, what was my grand jury service for? What was it worth? I mean, the sort of not only the danger to society that these pardons represent, but the undermining, the corrosive effect of what Donald Trump has just done. I mean, it spreads far and wide in ways that I don't even know we can fathom at this moment.
Last week, you said, I got to say that if a secret traitor as president was trying to weaken and create chaos in the United States to soften it up for an invasion, it would sure look a whole lot like what's going on now. I mean, that's what I said. Why do you think every enemy of the United States tried to help Trump get in? Because of this.
Yeah, reduce, if nothing else, even if we're not talking about an actual invasion, to reduce the economic power of the United States so that other countries start turning away from the United States and weaken it in that way. I mean, he doesn't care about the wealth and health of the United States. He cares about his own.
Yeah.
Trump, that is. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We like to turn this into Steffi's book club every time you're on. And it's not because you didn't read it, because you wrote it. But if other people don't get a chance to read it, your stuff, you know what? Your service to America is, Rude, is to just convince us that we are not the ones taking crazy pills. This is as bad as it feels over the last, not even a week yet, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, every time. I mean, everything that happens, we sit there and go, you know why? Because it makes us feel like we're just back in 2017 or, like this feels like a continuation of something that we've seen before and we don't like it.
Yeah. We were saying it feels like, you name it, COVID meets 9/11, like when the second plane hit the tower. I mean, it feels like we are under attack from within, exactly as you said. I mean, your cheery title, by the way, you said week 1 in the death of America. Congratulations, Bella, you're right on time. Look at her, baby, hopeful, just graduated from college last year. This is a tenured professor here.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
I am. I'm a department chair.
Put some respect on his name.
I am a tenured radical.
I fear for America.
For the first time ever, by the way, this is my first day of classes. For the first time ever, I'm going to have a talk about why it's okay for you to hear opinions that you don't agree with.
Yeah.
Wow.
Radical.
First time I'm ever going to do that. Usually my attitude was, suck it up, Buttercup. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
But
by the way, it's not your first day of class. You've always been classy.
Really?
Stay classy.
I think that's the first time that classy and rude pundit has ever been said in the same sentence.
San Diego.
It's occasionally classy, maybe even sometimes even debonair.
I just have to read a little to the children, to the baby chillins. You said if you're like me, you're sitting there thinking, what in the actual is even happening? In reaction to the wave of nation-wrecking executive orders and actions by massive sentient pustule Donald Trump and his vile administration, I knew there would be worry. I just didn't think about how detailed the worry could be, how fast it would all go down, and how it would all get into all the spaces of the federal government like toxic ooze that is flowing quickly through the streets of your town. And you realize then that the open basement windows and the water system are now filling with poison, and you don't know what where you can go to get away from it. Thank you. That's exactly.
Wow.
That is exactly.
That's poetic.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you. Classy, even.
Yes, debonair.
That's a dare.
Yeah, it's
I could have gone with feces. I could have gone with sewage, but I went with the classier toxic waste.
But it's a tip of the hat to my favorite movie, The Blob. It does feel a little like The Blob. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I would
movie?
definitely love to just start referring to Trump as the Blob.
Right.
When did that become your favorite movie?
Well, it's not my favorite movie. It's just, I don't know. It starts small, like he's saying, and then it's flowing out of movie theaters.
Right.
And it's okay. You finish by saying it's honestly hard to pinpoint what the worst thing is. Thank you. I don't even know where to start. The war on migrants on the southern border is awful. The birthright citizenship challenge undermines the entirety of the purpose of the United States. The pardon of the J6 insurrectionists is breathtaking in how it undermines the rule of law. The pure uttertishness, nicely done, of revoking security protection for the people who pissed Trump off demonstrates just how petty and insane the orange mother is. And then there's the attack on diversity, equity, inclusion in the federal workplace or in general, where the goal seems to be get all those, insert every derogatory term you know for where anyone not straight, white, and male off my lawn. Thank you. Thank you. And you're a professor. I said this. They're going to try to erase and or rewrite history. And there we go. Tuskegee Airmen gone. Women pilots gone. The January 6th database gone. It's gone. The DOJ has erased the database.
Yep. Yeah. No, but they are gonna. I think they actually turned around on the Tuskegee Airmen. I think that happened because there was such an outcry of people saying, "What is wrong with you? This happened." You know. I don't even understand. I saw that the DOJ website the Department of Labor website is getting rid of pages that talk about like the Battle of Blair Mountain, this major labor uprising in West Virginia that happened, where it was the first time that the United States actually bombed people from its own citizens from the air.
Oh, I thought it was when the movie Linda Blair went to the top of the mountain and said, "Let my people go." Or was that a different movie? What am I thinking of?
What the hell are you talking
was like
about?
5 references in one.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, don't encourage that.
No,
I am losing my.
Do you know how much thinking that one required?
Right.
Oh God!
You don't understand. We're not even a week into this yet. I just
no, and that's the thing is like we're sitting here going, what next? What else? I mean, at some point it's just going to be, what did he say about the January 6th defendants about pardoning them? F it.
Just let them all go. Yeah,
let them all go.
I mean,
eventually it's going to be F it. Just start rounding people up.
Yeah, and
that's
they're all
going to be.
And they're all getting greeted like heroes, and they're all, vowing retribution. And it's literally, he has turned the world upside down inside of a week. And it's...
And the heroic ones are the few that have declined the pardon. That have said...
One woman.
No, there's two.
Two people have declined it.
Two so far that we know of. Mm-hmm. That have said, no, I effed up. And I have learned that I effed up, and I should be held accountable for that. So should everybody else.
This would be one of our heroes of democracy. Pam Hemphill is her name. Hang on.
No, it would be a slap in the face to the Capitol Police officers, the rule of law, to our nation. I pleaded guilty because I was guilty. It would help their narrative that it was a peaceful protest that day. No, it was not a peaceful protest. It was an insurrection. I don't want a part of anything that Trump is offering.
Wow.
God bless her. But seriously, 2 out of 1,500. I mean, that's where we are in terms of decency and the rule of law. And also, just like what you're trying to do to the truth tellers. The people to just go like, no, it's on tape. That's not what happened, I mean,
and you can eliminate all the web pages you want. You can clean up the government websites to leave out any bad thing, but it's all still there. Everybody, nothing disappears from the internet.
Yeah.
And nothing, until they start going to libraries and actually purging the books and forcing people to teach a certain way, which I don't put past them, that the history is still there. They're not erasing it. We try.
You know what's going to happen next? They're going to turn Rude Pundit into a goat, and it's going to be like Wicked, and he's going to have to pretend he's a goat. He's going to have to put on a suit, but pretend he's a goat.
I haven't seen Wicked.
Oh, all right.
I'm sorry.
There was an audible gasp over here.
What's wrong with you?
You know what? I listened to the soundtrack back when I was going to go see it on when I was thinking of seeing it on Broadway, and I was like, I don't know.
Thinking of seeing it.
Oh, it's fantastic. What's wrong with both of you? All right.
I'll watch it when I can.
I like the movie better than the stage play.
Could we get back on track, please? Okay, listen.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You see, that's the other thing is we'd much rather talk about this kind of stuff, but. They're going to force people to start teaching until they start forcing us to teach a certain way, which again I think is on the horizon. I mean, DeSantis is going after another university in Florida to replace to turn it into another conservative paradise.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything.
And by the way, Christopher Webb said, workplace raids have begun. None of these people were rapists or criminals. Even if you're not a U.S. citizen, you still have due process in this country. 3 workers in Newark were taken into custody by ICE without a warrant. One, a veteran, endured the humiliation of having his military docs questioned. I mean, we can say it until we're blue in the face. Undocumented people commit crime at a much lower rate than Americans. Because of not wanting to get deported. It's just this whole myth of that there's hordes of violent criminals, that have come over. It's just a myth.
And it's just the amount of fear that is, and which is part of it, that is being put out there. I know somebody very close to me works for a food bank, and that is part of a church. And they are talking all the time about, a lot of the people they serve are undocumented. And they're having meetings about what do we do if ICE shows up? And how do we deal with it? They're handing out cards to the people there saying, this is what you do. So the fear is everywhere. And it's not.
The point. That's the point. There was one raid that I guess the kids were like, they didn't know if it was a shooter or ICE or it's about terrorizing people.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I just finished, I'm going to say, an 11 billion mile bike ride, and thank God I happen to have this magic potion with me, ASEA, as seen on the Stephanie Miller Show. It helps my cells communicate better so that I can heal faster from overdoing because I'm lying about my age. I also use it on my face.